Hi there, all. This is Dr. Payne coming at you again. Once again this week, I am flying solo on the podcast, so I'm just going to be answering some questions that were written in. I'm going to answer the first one and then see how much time I have left and maybe get into a second one. The first question was sent in. It says, do you feel Sil Nim Tao is the Wing Chun version of Sanchin? Now, I'm going to quantify everything that I'm about to say going forward with this statement. I am not a Wing Chun practitioner. Now, I am an Okinawan karate practitioner. Over the years, I've probably done 10 different versions of Sanchin. I have my favorite Sanchin, my least favorite Sanchin. Won't go into that right now, other than to tell you that my favorite is from Yoshiko Tagumi. And that is what I teach in the two versions that are taught in that system are what I teach in my school. And the reason being that it has a hard, soft dichotomy there. And I love that. And that's why I chose that. Not being a Wing Chun practitioner per se, having done a bit of Wing Chun cross training, mostly in seminar settings, I actually had to go back and look up this form, this Sil Nim Tao. I knew I had done part of it in a seminar years ago, but I hadn't done the whole thing. I had seen the whole thing, but that learning the form was not what that seminar session was about. It was about the isometrics involved. Having gone back and watched several different supposedly very good. Now, a few of them I know for a fact were very good Wing Chun practitioners, and some of them I'd never heard of before, but they seemed to have quite a following. And I watched it, and I do see a lot of similarities. I see that there is probably a connection there. A lot of the hand techniques or movements are the same. The stance is very reminiscent of what I know of Sanchin forms. The isometric movement in it ties in. I cannot say dogmatically that one came from the other or that they were developed by the same person or anything like that. I just don't know. Because we have to remember there was a lot of white crane transference from China to Okinawa and other things too, but white crane especially. And I know that Sanchin is a white crane form. My master in Yoshiko told me, and some others have told me also, that it came from China and got absorbed into the Dode and eventually became part of what we know today as traditional Okinawan karate. But my understanding of the history of the Yoshiko system is that what we learned, the two forms that we learned, one of them is an adaptation that is unique to Okinawa, and the other one actually is how it came to Okinawa from China. So I can't really say that it's derived from, but the principles, okay. And really, when we get out, that's why we teach Shishiru Ito in our school. Okay, the way that was forgotten. The way that was forgotten it's another name for it is Pomoshi. If you've listened to this podcast at all for very very many weeks, you've heard Shashi Ray talk about Pomoshi. If you missed it, go back to the archives. Pomoshi is the universal pattern. Shishiru Ito is very much a similar thing in that it's the idea that it's not the differences between systems and the differences between forms that we should be focusing on. It's the similarities. It's the things that tie them together. And so this question actually points back to that. Even though I can't say dogmatically, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this form that was asked about, this Sil Nim Tao, is the root or the predecessor of Sanchin. Okay, because I don't know, and I've done a little bit of digging today, and I can't find any reference to the two being connected. At the same time, I cannot look at one and then look at the other. There's no way I could have a practitioner of each system do those forms and not see the crossover. I think everything you learn doing Sanchin probably correlates directly to things that are learned in the Silnim Tau form. Everything that's learned in the Silnim Tau form, you could cross over and apply it to your bunkai for your Sanchin. With that said, I know this is I'm kind of talking around the question here, but I began by saying, with the quantification, that it's not my system, so I really don't know, and I'm not an authority on it. If anyone told me that they did Silnim Tau, I would be very confident that I could teach them at least the majority of the underlying principles because I know them from Sanchin and I can see the correlation. And I think a Silnim Tau practitioner who really knew what they were doing could do the same thing to come to an Okinawa karate practitioner and show them the inner meanings of Sanchin. But that does not prove a lineage. It's just like in the Pomoshi system, we have this running joke because I am very much I do a lot of Kali in my personal fighting style, and I teach it in my school. And if you do empty hand Kali properly, it looks a whole lot like Wing Chun, and vice versa. And so we started a long time ago this joke. Someone will do something from Wing Chun, and I'll say, oh, that's Kali, and they'll say, no, it's Wing Chun. I say, well, you stole it from the Filipinos. We don't know what the connection is there, but you can't deny the similarity. And it could be that one was absorbed or into a different culture and renamed and additional, concepts added to it and what have you. That's quite possible. It's also possible that we're all human beings and our bodies only turn so many angles and directions and what have you. And you're going to eventually, two people who train a lifetime, if they sit down together and swap notes, so to speak, they're going to find connectivity, even if it's not evolutionary in as far as one system becoming another or one system borrowing from another system. You're going to find the connections of the principles. It's like the old saying, don't seek what the masters found, seek what they sought. Okay, which is, they sought the in martial arts, they sought the perfect system of self-defense, but they weren't seeking how to do this particular technique. This particular technique developed through the process of their trying to find the perfect system of self-defense. So I hope that answers that question to the satisfaction of the person who wrote in. The second question I was going to dig into today a little bit has to do with rank structure. And the question was, can you... Oh, I've got it here someplace. Got to find where I had it written down. What's with all the new rank structures? Karate belts used to be so simple, and now you have systems with so many belts and systems with no belts. How is a person supposed to determine what's authentic? Okay, so to answer that question, there is no authentic. Okay, originally martial arts had no belts. I believe it was Jigoro Kano. He needed a way to differentiate skill level and time in training among students in the school system. He created a Kyudan system based upon, and it's a very old Japanese concept of, you have ranks that are below professional, ranks that are professional. You see it in everything from in Japan, from everything from professional diving to go practitioners to chess. They have Western chess there. They correlate it that way. They don't all wear belts around. Okay, that was kind of new. I'm told that the divers and the swimmers had different tassels on their goggles that were different colors. And that's maybe part of how he got the color scheme. Um, I'm not sure that I've never been able to verify that, but I've heard several people say it. And then Funakoshi took the concept, put it into karate, and then boom. Okay, it just went from there. From judo to karate to most martial arts that people trained in, brought from the east to the west. But I think originally he had Jiro Kano had, I want to say, white and black, or nothing in black, and then white and black, and then white, brown, and black, and then white, green, brown, and black. And I think that's where it stopped with Kano. I think that's what Funakoshi, if I remember right, what he absorbed. And then Americans got a hold of it, and we realized that, and I say we, I wasn't even alive yet, but realized that if they were going to do it commercially, if they were going to sell the product of martial arts, they could make more money if they broke it up. And they took something that was designed for children to keep them motivated and help them gauge how much they'd learned, and they turned it into a marketing scheme. So at that point, if you ask me, none of it's authentic. Now, I do use a belt system. I do that because people coming from the outside, that's kind of what they expect, And for years, I'm talking about 3 or 4 years there, I didn't use belts in my school. I said, you know what? It's a crock. It's all about making money. I'm your teacher. I know where you are. If you reach the rank or reach the level of proficiency where I think you're able to teach, I'll give you a teaching certificate, and that's it. What I found there was that it was hard to keep the lights on. Okay, because people came in looking for a belt system, and so I borrowed a structure from Shalom Hagana, the old Israeli, or sorry, not Israeli, Israelite martial art. And then I tweaked it some and did some different things that really just had personal meaning to me. Came up with a ring structure that we've been using for a number of years now. But you know what? I could scrap it all tomorrow and start off with something else. And my sincere students who've been with me for years wouldn't care because they know it's not about the belt you're wearing. It's not about the color, whether it be white or brown or black or what have you. It does help if I have somebody else who's teaching my system in another school, like they have their own school and they're teaching. It helps for me to be able to walk in and say, oh, hey, this person is a brown belt with a green stripe. I know exactly where they are in their proficiency level within, a given variable there. That's really all the purposes of that rank structure. I've even thought about using more of a military type rank structure because it's more simplistic, but I haven't done that. One of the systems I train in, Ito Machi Kata Taiho Jitsu. Say that 10 times fast. It has a rank structure, okay, as far as a military rank structure, but it's because it is a very ancient samurai-derived system that basically was solely for arresting people without killing them. It's a binding system, grappling system. So, I mean, I've thought about adopting it because it's so much simpler. And here's something to think about before I close. So much of what we teach in the West today, we'll call it karate or kung fu or what have you, but if you get right down to it, it's Americanized. we've absorbed things from, I've absorbed things from fencing and boxing and um, all sorts of different things. Western wrestling, um, Irish stick fighting. And so sometimes I wonder if maybe we should just get away from the Hokudan black belt, white belt thing and find a completely unique means of recognizing rank. If you have an idea for how to do that, I'd love to hear it. That would be a great discussion topic for another episode. So if you have ideas or if you've got something you've tried in your school and you want to follow up on this, put it in the comments or email me at Philip with one L, A Payne at consultant.com. And maybe you'll have your questions answered or your thoughts discussed in an upcoming podcast. That's all the time I have for today. Uh, Take care, and I'll talk to you in a week.